This is Austin Real Estate Investing.
Austin Real Estate Investing.
We'll be discussing real estate investing in Austin, Texas, and bringing you experts from all different sectors of the real estate game. Your host, Jordan Moorhead, is a real estate agent and investor in Austin and is here to help you get started or to build your portfolio and explore new strategies.
Hi, this is Jordan Moorhead, and this is the Austin Real Estate Investing Podcast. Today we have Lezlie Tram Lee coming on. She is a developer, a broker owner here in Austin, and she invests in retail, office, industrial, and flex space here in the Austin area. And she's going to tell us all about how those sectors of the commercial real estate market are doing right now and what she's seeing work really well. Hey, Lezlie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jordan. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah,
great to have you on here. I know Chloe Kwan had connected us probably about a year ago, and we were just never able to make it line up. And I'm really glad that we could make it happen here today.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, times just need to get it down and get to to the schedule and get the meeting set up. That's the whole goal. Make sure that it's on the calendar. When it's on the calendar, I make it happen.
Yeah.
If it's not on the calendar, sometimes I'm like, just make sure you put it on my calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you're busy, and I'm glad we could finally get it on the calendar here. So, Lezlie, before we get too far into it, most important question that I ask here on the Austin Real Estate Investing Podcast: what is your favorite restaurant in Austin?
Okay, any foods are good foods. Depend on ethnicity. So if you ask me, is it more seafood or is it more, I have reference for different type of food. But one pops out from my head right now, to be honest with you. We actually had lunch over there yesterday. It's called 1618 Asian Fusion.
Yeah.
You got to give it a try off of Riverside. Have you tried that before?
Yeah, it's great. We loved it. We've actually been twice.
Yeah. That's would be right now, I would say it's a great central locations. I think everybody can get to it. You get a variety of different sampler of different food, a little bit of Thai, mainly Vietnamese, but a little bit of Thai and a little bit of Chinese too. You got the soup dumpling. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big is awesome too. So
really good. Love 1618 Asian Fusion. So, Lezlie, can you just kind of go, I know I had a broad overview of what you do, but you do so much. Could you kind of just go over who you are and how you're involved with real estate investing here in Austin?
Absolutely. Yeah. So just a little bit about me. I've been in the real estate for a little bit over, I was an investor when I was 25, 26, starting with my, fourplexes and, a single family house and whatnot. And so I was as a real estate investor, and about 8 years ago, I decided to go full time after I sold my last business and got my license, got into the real estate realm, tried the residential again. And at the time I was like, it's kind of tough to get into the residential, and you have to, I'm not very good with put it this way, if the color is not right and you hear the client complain about, oh, this is not pink enough for me. So I'm just like, okay, I don't think this is going to work for me. So I literally moved out of the residential side, and I love the commercial side of it, because when I was in between, I own multiple businesses, and I negotiate a lot of leases for myself. And then, so I figure, you know what, maybe I can do tenant rep. And so I start in the commercial space, being, representing, restaurants owner, nail salons, and medical clinics and things like that, like multiple tenants. And then so because of that, I got introduced to a lot, and I'm very familiar with the retail space as a tenant representative. Negotiating the lease, make sure the lease structure to fit the tenants, the criteria, the van hood, the all 9 yards, right? The grease traps and all that for the tenants. And then I moved into the landlord representations after that. Since I did the tenants, I ended up, working on the landlord side. And after working on the landlord side, I got a chance to representing some of my clients, buying investment property. And then from the investment property, then land thrown at us, right? And then from land, then I learned the development side. So I took some development courses, got a team together. So I started developing. So for the past 8-9 years, that transition from a tenant representation, landlord representation, investment sale, now I do development from ground up development. So what we developing is, office, retail, kind of flex space, and industrial space as well. So what I mean by that is, traditional retail space cater a lot more for high volume traffic clientele. Let's just say a restaurant, dining, you're going to need a lot of parking. A martial art, you're going to need a lot of parking because a lot of high traffic. What I develop on a land and on a space that more for creative businesses. Let's just say a photographer. Photographers. There's time when you book a studio, you only have 2 or 3 clients in there, and or one person with their assistant, and then so you should do the photo shoot. And then some of the creative space now we have like a physical therapist in there. We have a movie studio that they're doing, shooting special effects and things like that. So it's got to where you're using the same zoning as the retail zoning, but more on the inline property land inline instead of a front. And then I make it become a more of a creative business part in a way. And then some of them has like a little showroom where you have a roll-up door and you can bring the car in and do a little showroom or bike to show and things like that, or art gallery as well. So I'm getting out of the retail with a lot of restaurant, high traffic, going into more like creative space, that we develop. And it's about, roughly about, between 1,200 square foot to 1,500 square foot, or you have an opportunity to connect 2 or 3 units together, make it 3,000 to 5,000 square foot. So it's more on a smaller space for small businesses that I'm, catered to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that any specific? So it sounds like, you started representing the tenants and then you learned the landlord side. And I'm sure that helps a lot when you're developing these properties too. You have all the knowledge of who's going to use it and what that might look like.
Absolutely. Yep. That's why we develop the property. I'm sorry, but when we develop the property, we put the tenant in mind. What criteria are they looking for? Basically, it's for the function. Put it that way. It's like, this is what I wanted, create something, and then now you give it back to put it on the market. That's exactly what they need already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or very close to what they need already. They just make minor adjustment. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like when they made the iPhone. It said, hey, it's not what's already out there and what's going to be the next iteration of that. You said, well, let's think about what they might want or what they might need. And then you're going to put them first and build that space for them. So that's really cool. It's like, if you build it, they will come. So are these any specific areas of Austin? Is this popular? Or is this just anywhere?
Hey guys, this is Jordan Moorhead here. And I wanted to ask if you could do a huge favor for me. If you could go leave a review for this podcast wherever you're listening to it, that would really help me get this into the hands of other people that are interested in information about Austin real estate investing, and I'd be able to help more people. Thanks, guys.
Just anywhere. The reason for that is because most of the time, on the creative flex space, sometimes, I'm very mindful with the user and the owner, because these are condos, so we sell them. So I'm very,
Okay.
yeah. So you get an opportunity to own it as well. You buy it, and then similar to buying a house, you live in there or you operate in there, and then eventually you pay your own rent technically, and then later on you sell them, you'll capitalize on it. And so I'm very mindful on the price point to make sure that it fit the small business owner aspect of it. And so the area that I intend not to be inside of Austin in general, because the price cost is a lot higher than comparing to right now I have a project in Pflugerville. I have a project in Builders. We're about to break ground. We have potential project in Cedar Park. We are having one potentially in Elgin. We're working on Manor right now. So I'm more catered to the surrounding area versus inside of the Austin area.
That makes sense too, because I would say those areas are growing faster than Austin too, because there's more space for development and there's just more opportunity for growth in those specific areas that you just mentioned too, where people are saying, hey, I don't really want to pay $600,000 for a starter home in Austin. I'm going to go to Buda and get one for $400,000, but there's not all the business and development out there yet. So I think you're seeing just enormous growth, obviously in the residential side, but also in the commercial side in those areas. It's just really not anything out there right now.
Yeah, that's why you have to have the rooftop. I have my site selection criteria, but you have to have the rooftop to make sense of what we're doing, because we're catered for small business owners. So.
Yeah, and small business owner doesn't want to drive an hour to get to their office, so makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. They want to be around the corner, pick up the kids, take them to the office, let them hang around. Yep.
That's awesome. So you're building these flex condos. They're all for sale? You're not just renting any of them?
There's another day we'll talk about the capitalize on that. Yeah. But yes, we lease them too. So if a tenant coming in and say, hey, I just want to lease them, for us, if it makes sense, and we'll lease them as well. So we're not just 100%, has to sell them all. Yeah.
Okay, but you do sell some of them though. So
yes, my goal is to sell them and we'll get out of the project, but we'll save some of it for lease. If anyone want to lease it, we'll capitalize on the lease side of it if they want to lease.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said they were roughly 1,500 square foot units, and there might be a couple together. What's I guess the question I would have is, what's the smallest you've done, and what's the largest you've done to date?
The project or the unit?
The whole project. So if the units are 1,500 square feet on average, do you just do one unit or?
No. Each project will have between about 20 units to 30 units. Yeah.
Wow.
So each project about 2 acre. I stay on my project, typically stay between 2 acre to 5 acres of land. That's the size that we stay in. And between about 20 units to roughly about 35, 40 units. Yeah. So then they can combine them. Like, you go into you have different, like a long, 10,000 square foot, and then you just cut them up in 1,500 square foot piece. And if you want 2, then you take 2. Or you want 3, you take 3, and then you just combine it together. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty easy just to knock down a wall or two and combine them together.
Yeah. If you say, hey, let's say I need 2 units, then you just knock out the wall, make it size you want, and then just, connect them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's very easy. It's flexible. That's why we call it flex.
Yeah, that's really cool. So is there any other reason you don't try to be in the city of Austin other than price? Is permitting difficult, something like that, or is it just the price?
I do have a project in Austin right now on a residential project. And Jordan, my goal is I love the city of Austin. I love where we live, but oh boy, I just finished one of my office, a building that I bought is already in show condition, and I try to finish out the whole entire building. It took me 2 years the day that I closed on the property until today. We just literally just had the final CO for the whole entire building after 2 years.
Wow.
2 years. And it's a finish out, not a full construction from ground up. And it is literally just shell and then office space. I didn't put, gas mask or anything in there to make it complicated. And we still had to go through with the permitting and all the requirements. And then, it's tougher to build in Austin for sure. And our Kramer project that we have right now, we have 26 units, and I'm on phase 2 and phase 3 right now. Same thing. My GC just update me, and the water meter, you outdated. This is not the right gauge, and so we had to deal with a lot of requirements that basically is not time effective in a way. The way how they addressing the problems, that's not. It's not just the cost effective, it's time effective, right? If you and I meet, why don't you bring 3 more person within the same, process, meet with me and address the whole thing, then I can come back and then figure it all out and come back to you and you get one approval and then it'll be done. No, you got to call this guy and this guy call the other guy and the other guy call back that guy and say, no, I don't know this. You need to go to this guy and this guy don't talk to that guy. So we have to, pass around, and it's not very time effective, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I've heard the same thing from other developers. Is they love living in Austin, but they would rather develop in the cities around Austin.
I'm there. I'm right there.
Yeah. And I think that just is what it is. You just got to deal with it.
You got to deal with it. Yep.
I know you started in residential, but what initially got you excited and interested in real estate investing in general?
Have you wanted to be part of GoBundance, the tribe of millionaires, but just haven't hit that millionaire status yet? Well, now you can, not even being a millionaire, by joining our new program, GoBundance Emerge. My name's Jamie Gruber, creator of GoBundance Emerge and member of the GoBundance community. And now you can join. GoBundance.com/emerge. GoBundance.com/emerge. Use code Jordan for $100 off this 12-week goal-setting program and mastermind that'll propel you to being a whole life millionaire.
I actually, this is funny. I had another call yesterday about one of ICSC international shopping center group that they asked for me to be on one of their similar to podcasts as well. And then so they asked me, how did you get into real estate? And so what's really got me is I came here as an immigrant. So, you didn't, you see what opportunity you have out there, right? And from that, my family did rented a fourplex from somebody that I happened to, when I lived there, I got to know the owner. The owner happened to be Vietnamese. So we spoke about it, and he talked about, I own this fourplex, and I put 25% down, and now I used to live in one unit, and I ran out the other 3. So then now I have the whole fourplexes. So that's as when I was 19. That's when I met that investor owner, and he's still around town here in Austin. And so because of that, it got me thinking, okay, so you can live in one and then you can rent out another three. And then you can, actually, fourplexes, you can also claim it as a, what is it in the residential? You claim it's your own resident, right?
Oh, your homestead, yeah.
Homestead, right? So that's where it got me to the idea how to invest into fourplexes back then. But then after, dealing with tenant for a while, then it's time to move out of the managing side of it. Yeah.
Okay. So you started with residential. Did you go from residential, let's say fourplexes, straight into office, industrial, and retail or flex space right from there?
Yeah. So the residential, I sold the fourplexes a while back. And then when I got back into full force in real estate, I went into retail as a tenant rep.
Oh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you were to start over today, knowing what you know now, having owned those fourplexes and now in the commercial space, would you do anything differently from where you started?
No.
No?
Everything that the do and the don't equally valuable.
Mm-hmm.
You learn the things that for me, what's really tell me is that those fourplexes taught me that do I want to be in the multifamily space, which is would I like to, have a team to set up for that. And then going into the retail, I understand what it takes to be in the retail. So now the product types that I design or I want to be in, I'm more on the space that I think that I have a team that can cater for it. So the do and the don't are equally valuable in my opinion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
I'm not changing anything for nothing. This is it's all great. It's all great.
Yeah.
I don't have any wonder anymore. Say, hey, should I buy that fourplex or not? I know what it takes to run a fourplex. Who do I need to be on the team for the fourplex? So now if you ask me, is this a good price? Should I buy it? I don't have the inklings. I fear of missing out anymore. I know what it takes and what's the value to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think everything we do, we learn something from it. So unless you just completely lose your shirt, and even if you do lose your shirt, I think you learn so much. So I think there's value in every experience, and I wouldn't change anything for myself either with real estate. There's deals that I wouldn't have passed up if I would have known better, but I don't know that I would do anything different either. And I love your answer to that question.
Thank you.
And Lezlie, we haven't had a lot of people here that have done a lot of flex space development. Is there a big mistake that you would just throw a word of caution to people listening of things to avoid with development with flex space?
Mm-hmm. Word of cautions. To be honest with you, always when you get into ground up development is the things that you don't know, unforeseen things that you don't know that lay underneath the layers of the land that you acquire or things like that. What I meant by that is the due diligence side of it. For example, I bought a 2.5 acres for a project. Our due diligence criteria are very rigorous, right? All the way 300-400 check item that I check off, okay? Because it's land from the ground. I have to make sure these boxes are checked. Mm-hmm. And we're not the one who check them. We have special, we have our service, provider, basically, architect, engineer, all those guys are checked on the box to make sure it fit our criteria. Here's the funny thing for that land that I learned that after all the boxes were checked at the state level, at the local level, everything looks good. I'll just build here, no big deal. The other day, about 6 months ago, my civil engineer called me and said, Lezlie, there's something that we did not check. I said, what happened? Well, remember that little slot on the back there? Because the checkbox only checked for the flood zone. We didn't check for wetland.
Oh.
Yeah, I see your own. And by the way, wetland is not state, it's not local, it's national.
Federal,
So you have to deal with the Army Corps, you have to deal with, the national level. And so we have to hire, a remediator, try to figure out what needs to be done. And to be honest with you, that shrink my footprint of the building back. About almost 6,000 square foot.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's 4 units.
Exactly. Yeah. And so would I have that on my checklist now? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the thing is, to me, the advice for people that coming into as a developer coming in, get a good team, get a good mentor, partner up with a lot of people that in the same space as you. And then also on top of that, just make sure get the right advisor, either developer or broker that know how to understanding land, understand development, and then also understanding, the market as well. And that will help. Otherwise, it'll come back. In my case, it's small. Some cases, you never know, right? You never know, like if it's half of it is under the wetland, what are you going to do about it, right?
Yeah, thank goodness users. So because of the wetlands, you just can't build on that area of the property. Is that what happened?
You cannot build, and you have to remediate it. You have to make sure you prove to the Army Corps, and I have to hire people to prove to the Army Corps that there is no species in there because it's all dry. Oh. Literally, that is not wet. It's called wetland. I thought, like you have mud there. It's nothing there. It's dry, completely dry. But guess what? It just stuck in the zone that in the wetland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the flood maps. They change those flood maps every so often. So there's like a wetland map, I'm guessing, and it's part of that.
That's part of that, yeah. And it has endangered species there, which is there's nothing there. Yeah. But it was identified under the national level that it was a wetland, area. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I had not heard of. I obviously had heard of wetlands, had done all the continuing education where they kind of talk about it, but I'd never run into a situation where wetlands had affected building properties.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I run the number adding that 6,000 square foot to it, right? Mm-hmm. Now the footprint, of course, your formula would change, your number would change, your return on investment outcome would change a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've already bought the land, so this is way down the line.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it. So due diligent. And not only that, you will run into a pitfall like that. Because, you did your best already. You knew that you did it. But guess what? It will come. It's like one of my engineer, he said it's like a snake on the grass. You got to watch out for the snake on the grass. That's what he told us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's always something, and there's always more to learn. That won't happen again to you now. So,
well, I want to make sure it's on the list. We'll make sure that check the box.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's still going to work out, but now you've got something else to add to the list there that will help you do better due diligence next time.
Yeah,
that's really cool. So, what's next? What are the long-term goals? You've gone from buying fourplexes to developing flex space around Austin. What are the long-term goals for you and your company, Lezlie?
Jordan Moorhead here. Really quickly, wanted to tell you a couple other ways you can keep track of us. If you want to listen to all these podcasts and ask questions, the Moorhead team on YouTube is the best place to be. And then Austin Real Estate Investors on Meetup is a great place to keep track of all of our meetups we have going on.
Long-term goal on the business side, I want to have a team that, set up and keep moving forward with the business plan that we have right now, which is great. Everything is moving forward, even though the economy right now is a little bit, in the zone that people are not investing. But to me, our product's still selling, still very actively, because it's more on the local level than the national level that it got affected, right?
Yeah, small business is always going to be around, not as affected.
Yep. They still bring their kids to work, and that's the beauty of it, right? And so that's something that I want to be able to do that. Second thing is, my team incumbent with a lot of females. I want to cultivate a lot more female to get into the commercial space, like what we do. It doesn't matter. You can do a development or you can do leasing, you do anything like that. But I want to bring more women into the commercial space so they have that opportunity as well. Not excluding men, Jordan, but the space, we don't have a lot of place for us to cultivate. So I want to, personally, I want to be able to create that space. Yeah.
No, I think that's really important. And commercial, in my experience, it's mostly men. Is that also what you're seeing on the flex development space?
All of it.
All men. Yeah. 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 Honestly, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we do some smaller projects in San Antonio. We work with the best contractor and the best property manager ever, and they're both women. They do what they say they're going to do when they're going to do it. It's on budget. It happens no problem. It's all organized. They're very easy to communicate with. And I'm saying, man, they're amazing. And it's an all-woman team. So I think there's just so much space to get better. And just having more people enter the industry, and in this case, women enter the industry, to set that bar higher is going to make it better for everybody.
I'll tell you funny things, like when I tell people all the time, I said, women today thinking you're in development, you're in construction, you're in a commercial space. What I don't want women to have that fear is that you don't have to go out to the job site and nail it. You do not have to hold the hammer and nail the nails anymore. You're not doing that. You just use your brain and figure it out and organize it well, so where the project runs smoothly, right? And so I just want to let them know, hey, there's more to it. You don't just have to go out and nail. That's what people worry about, right? The fear that, hey, I'm in construction. Doesn't mean do I have to wear boots every day and go to a construction site? No, you don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like a huge fear with real estate investing in general is, I don't know how to swing a hammer, or I don't know how to do this and that. Neither do I. And I've done a lot of real estate deals, and that's not my expertise. And that's not something I'm interested in doing either. So there's always another expert out there that you can find or you can hire to do those things for you. And as long as you have good business sense, you can do a really good job.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's my long-term goal.
That's an awesome goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring more women into the industry. It's a great goal.
And you get better management for sure. On budget. That's the key, right? On time, on budget, right? Organize. To the detail. And then if you need something, they call it back out and say, oh yeah, it's on that folder right there. Here you go. Here's the link. Versus I don't know where it is. Where's it located? Can you go get them? Oh, I don't know. Can you search back on the email? And it's like, look at your email. There's no way you can find those info. So yeah, I'm happy to cultivate that. Yeah.
That's cool. And is there do you have like a best way for people to reach out to you? So if there's women out there that are interested in learning more about development, how to get into it, or where they might fit in the industry, is there a best way people can follow you or reach out to you to learn about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my website under ltcommercialgroup.com.
Okay.
And then I also have my LinkedIn and Facebook is Lezlie Tram Lee. So if you punch in Lezlie Tram Lee on LinkedIn or Facebook, you would be able to find me on that. I have my cell phone if you want.
Totally up to you. Don't feel obligated, but if you want to give it out, you're more than welcome to.
So I prefer to get texts. So you can just text me, and then we'll figure out a time to be able to get on the calendar and be able to book it. So my cell number is 512-917-8257. And text will be the great way to get to me. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. If you want something from Lezlie, text her. Don't call her, and she'll get back to you when she has a chance.
Or
Lezlie,
we'll find a time to work best for both. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll find a time that works for you. Lezlie, what's a favorite business or mindset book that you like to recommend to people that might be interested in development?
Jordan, I have a lot.
Yeah.
But if it's in development, I would say let's gear toward more real estate than the business side of it, right? So I have my favorite book I ever read, and is almost, let me see how many hours is this book. It's called The Due Diligence Handbook for Commercial, and is written by, hold on, let me see, is written by Brian Hennessy. Yep.
Due Diligence Handbook for Commercial by Brian Hennessy.
Yeah.
All right. That should be easy enough to find.
Yeah.
All right. So Lezlie, best ways to get a hold of you, ltcommercialgroup.com, Lezlie Tram Lee on LinkedIn or Facebook, and then via text to set up a call or set up time to talk, 512-917-8257.
Yes. And make sure when you text me, at least let me know what would you like to connect for. So at least I get a better understanding to tailor to the conversations that we will have later when we meet. Yeah.
All right. Well, Lezlie, thank you so much for coming on. It's been so interesting. I'm so glad that we could get this scheduled. I know we've been trying for a while. It's just hard to get it nailed down sometimes.
I know. That's why I was like, make sure we put it on the calendar.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, if anybody needs to reach out to Lezlie, ltcommercialgroup.com, Lezlie Tram Lee on Facebook and LinkedIn. Be sure to follow her. She's doing all sorts of cool stuff. And if you need flex commercial space, she's the person to reach out to.
And we also have a team that definitely get you what you need on the commercial side of it, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lezlie. We'll talk here soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Jordan, for having me on your podcast. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.